Well, my name is Kay Newcomb, and I have the history of Linwood, which is between New Windsor and Union Bridge. And it starts back at the end of the Revolutionary War, and the Linwood was built on 2 tracts of land. On the right-hand side of McKinstry Mill Road was known as Resurvey of the Deep, and it contains the oldest house still standing in immediate vicinity of Linwood, the stone part having been built by Abraham Crumbacker in 1787. On the left-hand side of the road, it was known as Rockland. It was purchased in 1785 by William Haynes from Peter Woods, who, it is thought, obtained the grant from the Crown. The price paid was $14 an acre. Now, Mr. Haynes' grandson, Joseph L. Haynes, was a civil engineer and helped survey the Western Maryland Railroad when it was built from Baltimore to Union Bridge. The railroad was completed between 1861 and 1862. Reuben Haynes was a director of the company, and for services rendered was granted the privilege of a siding at this point. 2 warehouses were immediately erected. The house on the Haynes property was built about 1800, but was destroyed by fire and then rebuilt on the original foundation about 1804. This homestead was called Linwood for the numerous linden trees on it. Later, the town was named Linwood in honor of that estate. In 1868, Josiah Engler, then doing business in Cumberland, Maryland, saw in the location an excellent opening, became the purchaser of the property. He remodeled and enlarged the dwelling house and also opened a general store in connection with his warehouse trade. In 1870, Jonas Engler, Jonas's brother, Jonas Engler, who was Josiah's brother, bought land on the opposite side of the road and built his house. In 1894, the Sunday school opened in the warehouse where there was entertainment held and also the festivals. It was decided to build another structure that would look a little better, and a 2-story building was built, and the lower floor was used for the 1-room schoolhouse. It was opened December 1898. The church was built in 1905 and is known as Linwood Brethren Church. Post office was established in 1867. Josiah Engler was the first postmaster. The first year's commission was $12 and the post office was in the store. Josiah and Jonas raised their families there. My grandfather, John Addison Engler, was the youngest of 9 children of Josiah. The grain elevator was built, and farmers brought their vegetables there to be taken from their farms to Baltimore. My grandfather, John, built the house next to the original home when he married and raised 6 children of his own there. I have pictures of the postmasters, which I guess isn't going to be any good.
Those were the postmasters of the...
Yes, the postmasters through the years. Mm-hmm. And this is a picture of the Engler store in Linwood. Nathan Engler, who was my grandfather's brother, Nathan, he ran the store. My grandfather ran the grain elevator, and other brothers ran the other businesses that took place in Linwood. My grandfather had 6 children, and they were all raised in Linwood, and they didn't move until to Baltimore until about 1926.
And is that where you were raised, in Baltimore?
In Baltimore, yes, yes.
And do you remember coming to Carroll County to visit relatives or anything like that?
We frequently went out to Linwood just because it was Linwood, and I still do just because it's Linwood. It's no bigger now than it was back then. Just one street, McKinstry Mill Road, and that's all of Linwood, so you can't really even consider it a village. It's just so small.
Right.
But that's what's so charming about the place, I think.
Right. So it was mainly family memories of
Oh, yes.
coming out
Oh,
there,
yes.
not so much as a town, really. It was just going to that place with your family.
Right, exactly, yes. None of the anglers still live there, but they did at the time. There are a lot of those houses belonged to the various members of the angler family. So.
Yeah, that was very interesting. And what was this book that you brought?
Well, I had some pictures of some of the homes in Linwood.
Now this book is a handmade book? It looks like.
Well, I think she bought it. I think my aunt bought it. But the pictures here show the home where my grandfather built that home next to the original home there, right next door to it. He built that when he was married and raised his family there. The church, of course, is there. That was built in 1905. And the home under it, it says who that belonged to, I don't know.
Uncle Joe's house.
Uncle Joe's house,
It's
okay.
now a parsonage.
Okay, and he was the oldest of the children of Josiah. So I thought that that would be interesting and really. This was the one-room schoolhouse here, that second one down, that I mentioned was built for the Sunday school, and they wanted to put the one-room, use the first floor as a schoolhouse, because the children before that time had to walk the 1.5 miles to Priestland Valley School, and in the other direction to, where? No. Where the a cemetery is. And there's a Baptist church there.
But they all used to walk.
But, oh yes, long distances. So their children got to go to school in the Linwood schoolhouse. And they had a school there, and a store, and basically that was about it.
Yeah.
But,
well, thank you so much for sharing that.
well, you're very welcome. It was my pleasure, believe me. As I say, anytime I can talk about Linwood, I like to do it.